Hey guys, so I'm back again. This time we're coming back to our long form tutorial videos. Now this will be, I guess you could say, part 1 of our Terraform LED GPIO series, and we're going to start with Docker. So in this video I will show you how to use Terraform with Docker, and we'll also run the demo as well. So stay tuned. Alright folks, it's time to get started. So the first thing to note is what Terraform is. Basically, the Terraform is known as infrastructure as code. Now this, as you can see, allows you to manage infrastructure with configuration files rather than through a GUI. It allows you to build, change, and manage your infrastructure in a safe, consistent, and repeatable way by defining resource configurations that you can version, reuse, and share. Basically, if you have an infrastructure that you're building and you want to use code, then IAC, or infrastructure as code, will work just fine. Now, Terraform is the tool that is used for infrastructure as code. Now, as you can see here, it can manage infrastructure in multiple cloud platforms. It allows you to write infrastructure code quickly and track your resource changes, and even commit your configurations for if you're using GitHub, for example. Now here you can see here we have us, who are the practitioner. We have the infrastructure as code. We have the plan. I'll cover what this means later. And we have apply. And then we have our services, and then we deploy them across different networks. So in this case, you want to make sure to plan the changes first before you apply, because you can have an error and that won't allow you to apply the changes. So Terraform works in things like VMs, AWS, Kubernetes, Microsoft, Google Cloud, and of course you can even use things like Azure, GKE, and AWS, specifically their EKS service. For example, if you want to build Terraform on your own cloud platform. So let's say you weren't doing this on your PC like I am, and you were doing this on the cloud, then yes, Terraform would be perfect to deploy on the cloud. And I will provide links in the description so you can try it out on your own. And yes, I've even created my own application with Terraform using Prometheus and Grafana, which I will also link in the description so you can check it out and also try it on your own if you'd like. So now let's get to what we're actually wanting to do here, and we're going to build the infrastructure with Docker. Note, I've already installed Terraform on the previous video. I'll link in the description so you can get started there. So let's build the infrastructure here. First, you create a directory, which I've already done here. I will provide everything on my GitHub repo, which I will link in the description as well. And of course I have the code already, and these two files I will talk about later. Then we create a main file. Now I should note, I actually separated this into two files, but here's what a typical file looks like for a TF file. You have Terraform, which has required providers. Here we have Docker. The source is crude's worker or /docker, the version. We have the provider for Docker, and we have these two things, which are the resources. First, we create the Docker image resource. In this case, it's called Nginx, and it's Nginx latest. We don't keep it locally in this example. And here we have the Docker container called Nginx, and then we have the Docker image with the image ID, so make sure that it is correct. Then we have our ports here, and yes, we have our name as well. Make sure you have this here. So the ports here will depend on which we're going to use. Here we're going to use 5000 and 5000, and I'll show you how that works. Then, of course, we are going to initialize with Terraform init. Now these are now we don't need to do these, but of course if you want to validate, you can put Terraform validate, but again I will link this in the description if you want to dive deeper into this. Then of course we have Terraform apply here. Once you've planned, now once you've initialized it, which is the plan, then you can apply. You put yes, and then everything will be created. You can inspect the state with Terraform show, and then you can manage it with Terraform state list. Now, of course, you can also destroy it. We won't be changing it. You can destroy it with Terraform destroy, which is pretty simple. That's all it is. So the only thing we're going to is build, then destroy. We don't need to change. So let me show you the one we're going to use. First, let's start with providers. Here we have, again, the same one as I've shown you before with Cruise Worker and Docker. And here we have the same resources for Docker image and Docker container. However, I called mine YouTube Terraform, and we're going to keep it locally. We're going to have the app as our context, which is the directory I just showed you with all the code. And then we're going to use Dockerfile, which, by the way, is already in here. This is from the previous steps that I've shown you. And then Docker container, we're going to use Terraform container. That's going to be the name of it. And then it's going to be monitoring. Sorry, this should actually be Terraform container. So, there you go. And then, of course, this will be YouTube Terraform, and then we have our image ID. And then internal and external will be 5000. So these will be our ports, similar to the example I've given you guys. You go back to build right here, but they will be 5000 as we are running a Flask application. Again, I already have the playlist for the previous, so go check those out first. And then once you're done with the initial setup and with Ansible, you can come back here. But that's it for the Terraform configuration. But what if we wanted to push this to Docker? Well, we can. We have to use the playbooks. Now I've already have, in this case, we're going to use Docker push. I created this, and I've had this from a previous one. Now I am going to call this something else. We're going to call this, I'm going to rename this because this is from a previous project I did. But basically, here we have localhost, connection local. We log into Docker Hub with username and password. Then we push. Again, I'm going to change this to YouTube Terraform, because this is actually from a previous project I did. So we're going to change this. And then, of course, we push true, source local. And then once we're done, we log out of Docker Hub. And that's it. So again, this is how we can use automation for first creating a Docker image and then pushing it to Docker Hub. So this is all we need for this. So in the demo, I'm going to play around with some of the settings because I have to make sure everything is correct. And then I will come back to you when everything is running correctly. So I'll see you soon. Hey guys, I am back again. There were some issues getting this to run, but it does run here. I'll show you. I have the app running here, and yes, there is a bit of a delay. I know you can't see the LED blink, but it does work. But anyways, I did run into one issue. I had to add workzug 2.2.2 because I had an error that required this, but otherwise it works now. As you can see, I ran Docker PS and it's running at port 5000. So there was nothing for me to change here. It was just the requirements file, and I will be uploading this on GitHub so you guys don't have to worry about adding this. But otherwise, that's it. I will have to show you the steps. So again, so you will first run init and then plan, and then you'll run apply. And I've already done that, so the next thing we need to do next, well, in this case, once you're done testing, is we can now run Terraform destroy. So we'll do that now. We'll put yes, and the container is now destroyed. So, as you can see here, there is the YouTube Terraform. Now I'm going to push this to Docker, and it's pretty much the same as I've shown you how to do here. So I will do that off screen, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, so I am done here. I've already pushed the image to Docker Hub, and as you can see here, using Ansible, I was able to gather facts, log in, tag and push, and then log out. And if we go to Docker Hub here, you can already see I created the image 2 minutes ago. So that's all done. So we are now done with this portion of the tutorial. However, we are not done with the series, because next time I will show you how to integrate Kubernetes with Terraform. And I will even show you how to convert your YAML files to a TF file format so that you can easily run your applications. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.